traditionally, rape was viewed as an attack on a woman's honor. And the fact that her honor has been defaced was a principal consideration. There was this tendency to look for the perfect victim. You see rape law littered with this landscape of misogyny, where you are constantly being told that your behavior post the incident of rape, prior to the incident of rape, during the incident of rape, is suspect because you haven't lived up to the standards of an ideal victim, whatever that is. If a court harbors any kind of doubt, if the court feels that there is that the case is not has not passed the threshold of proof beyond reasonable doubt, the court must resist the temptation of convicting or incarcerating a person unfairly. The problem is the language and the reasoning. So when a court comes to a conclusion that A is guilty or B is not guilty, it does so by marshalling the evidence. However, when you look at extraneous considerations like how did she behave soon after the incident? Why was she drinking? Why was she in a bar? What were the clothes that she was wearing? Then you are entering into a very, very problematic area. Rape cases also come with it high punishments. Do you tell a murder victim, or do you tell us, the family members of a murder victim that go tie a rakhi to the perpetrator of the crime? Do you tell the near and dear ones of a murder victim that it's time to forget and forgive, and maybe you should make peace with the accused person who has perpetrated the crime? You don't do that. Why is it that courts show their inherent discomfort and disbelief rape victims on the basis of reasoning which has nothing to do with the facts of the case? Parliament and successive governments, when they bring out law, their solution only seems to be either to raise punishments or to reduce the time period within which a rape trial will conclude, without taking into account a realistic account of whether or not courts can conclude it within that time frame. Unless you have more judges, unless you have better infrastructure, and unless you make systemic changes, that is not going to happen. When you allow cases to linger on for an indefinite number of years, what happens really is that you don't allow the victim to get any kind of closure. She doesn't get to tell her story in court. With the passage of time, her memory fades. As a consequence, when an accused person is ultimately acquitted, that statistic is then thrown at women to say, as if to suggest that women are liars and they lie. guidelines were laid down by the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court cautioned the trial courts as well as the high courts not to go into this kind of conversational appreciation of evidence. Courts continue to do sensitization and training sessions should not be one-off. It is a continuous process. A rape survivor had come to me many years ago, and she was relating what had happened to her just a few days before she met me. It was very apparent that she was still in extreme pain. She could barely walk, and there were injuries on her. When she described the incident to me, the incident happened in a lonely house where there was no one else except her and the perpetrator. And foolishly, I asked her a question. I said, "Why did you go there alone?" And she looked at me and she said, "Ma'am, surely I'm paying the price for that and not you." So true. So even as women and even as practitioners who call ourselves very sensitive, we receive a life lesson every day, and we are trained to think differently every day. So when we talk of sensitization, it is a lifelong process.